End up in the woods somewhere.
Bruh.
Strange fruit.
That part. You ready, brother? Oh shit, you start recording? Damn. Yeah, man.
That was good though. That was natural.
Hey, that's that pre-conversation right there. Right. Let me get my little phone ready for my intro, man. This was what's up, man. Boom, Ken, my guy. All right, man. Welcome back to another episode of Talk Vibe Hustle, the podcast where we sit down and we get into the mind and the passions of today's most influential and inspiring people in the city. I'm gonna keep it a beanbag with y'all. We got somebody dope as hell in this motherfucker, and this brother right here got a mission, and his mission is to get y'all outside. All right. My dog Ken McQueen has literally put together an app called the Companion app. Within this app, it is made to help folks like him and I around our age to make friends, to get outside and let's go do something, right? And on top of that, it gives you an opportunity, in my opinion, to find new places in the city that's dope, that you ain't never been to before, and meet people who actually are around your age, want to kick it, want to have a good time. And I guess on top of that, bro, a lawyer on the side, or at least practicing law or studying law, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So this is my guy, Ken McQueen. Welcome to the show, gang.
And I appreciate it, bro. Glad to be here, man. Glad to be here.
Ain't no thing,
Yes,
bro.
Yes, sir.
So I think I really want to start off. My first question to you is, what made you start this, and what made you jump down this rabbit hole?
Yeah, man. It was a lot. I feel like I was in another city, so I'm from Birmingham originally, but I had moved to Cincinnati for work.
Okay.
I was working at a law firm out there. And, man, just connecting with that city was hard. You know, it's like it's overwhelming, number one, because you got so much. You got the sports teams. You got, different parts of the city that, just you trying to figure it all out. You don't know nothing about the city. So it's like at that time, it was just, how do I connect? How do I learn this city fast? And it wasn't really anything out there that was designed for transplants, people who move into new cities. So I was like, what if we had something where, folks could connect with locals and, find out what the spots are and, kind of find a tribe. So originally it was like for transplants, what I'm saying? But then over time, brought it back to Birmingham and locals started, liking it too. And it just became like something everybody was pulling up to.
Yeah.
But originally, man, it just came from me having a problem of, finding that tribe in a new city.
Yeah.
Feeling lonely and stuff like that. So yeah, man, that was kind of how it started brewing in my head.
Okay. I guess I can definitely be a person to speak to being a transplant, because like we just said, transplant. I didn't lived everywhere.
Yeah.
So I've experienced going somewhere and be like, bro, where everybody that look like me and want to do the things that I do.
Right.
So that's a very dope concept, and I'm 100% behind that, because I think on top of that, when you get to a new city, you want to go out, but it's also understanding you don't know the side of town that you ain't got no business being on for real either. Yeah. So that's also an easy way to learn that. Yeah. That's what's up, bro.
I had a little moment like that.
Tell me about it.
Ended up on the wrong side of the track, so I'm walking in that bar. I don't know where I'm at, right? We sit in Cincinnati, so it's like I got a suit on. I'm leaving work, man.
Yeah.
Man, everybody looking at me. It's like that, and these are people too, but it's like, who are their brothers? You know what I'm saying? So I see folks getting up, they coming around, they circling me, you know what I'm saying? Folks asking questions like, "What's up, man? You from this area?" And it's just like,
that's the scariest question in the world.
Man, yeah. So I held my own. I wasn't tripping, but it's like, if I had known the city, somebody could have put me on game.
Yeah.
Like, we ain't gonna go on this side of town.
Yeah.
Or don't go on this side of town.
Once you hit that railroad track, man, you gotta bust that Yooooo.
Facts.
Yeah.
So, try to help people avoid that,
Yeah.
Like, But yeah, man, so I done definitely been in them situations where it's like, you lost, you really trying to find your way, but might end up, in a situation where, this ain't really my people, or this ain't where I need to be at. So it's about like-minded folks, man, trying to connect, people who, looking to network, you know what I'm saying? So we trying to put y'all all in the same space and just help you connect with like-minded folks.
Hell yeah. I'm rocking with that
You can
heavy.
pull up to them happy hours on your own time, you know what I'm saying? But if you want to get out and meet some new people, man, who like you, pull up to one of our events,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely at the next one 100%, because every time you have one, I done already committed to doing something else that night. I'm like, bro, come on. Cuz know my schedule and he planning around me.
For sure. It's all good.
So did you have a background in like tech beforehand?
Yeah, so
okay.
man, I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was all a learning curve, man. So it was all, bro. I think in the early days, bro, Shark Tank, bro. Like I watched a lot of Shark Tank to kind of get me familiar with like the jargon of, number one, going to like investors, like, pitching the idea or whatever. And so that was kind of like my start. But on the tech side, man, still a lot of just reading, and just self-educating. Like I didn't go to school for tech, man. I studied political science.
Okay.
Then went to grad school, law school, or whatever. So that's my background. I
Okay.
can tell you about some government stuff, but, at that time I could tell you that about tech. But the transition, man, it's been smooth. Like, the more you do something, the better you get at it. You know what I'm saying? So running an app, bro, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of moving pieces, and it's like, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. You kind of know, okay, I need to do this. Okay, this need to be done. And it gets a little easier. But in the beginning, it's like, man, what am I doing? Why am I doing it?
I would have never guessed that there's a lot of background work that goes into that, like on a regular basis. Because in my mind, once it's set up to do its own thing.
Yeah, pretty much, but it's still a lot of maintenance that's going on.
Okay.
So it's like, I have folks, like when we first went live in the app store, you would have folks tapping in with me like, yo, the app just crashed on me. You know what I'm saying? And I got to reach out to like developers. I got to see what's going on. I got to log in on the back end. Of course, you got strange people who put stuff on the app that they shouldn't be putting on the app. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's like, let me remove this person. So just a lot of maintenance and monitoring, man. Another thing is, man, the fees, right? So it's like you gotta, the fees. If you ain't on top of that, that whole thing is shut down on you. So you gotta make sure that everything just checked off, and you gotta schedule it. So I write every payment that need to come out, make sure, because you want to get on it, and then it's like, damn, offline. So but yeah, man, it's a lot of maintenance. But once you got all that done, it does kind of run and do its own thing.
Okay. That's good to know.
Most of the fees are like annual, but like, yeah, you just definitely got to stay on top of it and just be the customer service type stuff,
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah.
So first question, what made you choose your logo? Is that a camel?
That's a camel, bro.
Why you do that? I was like, that's so fine, different.
No, a lot of people got that question, man, and I usually give them two stories. I'm like, you want the drunk story or you want like the real story?
I want both of them.
So the drunk story is like I lost a bet. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I threw the camel on there. It's just some random shit. But like the real story is like, it's more of like a symbol of like perseverance. You know what I'm saying? I think what kind of transitioned me into the tech world was like my own period of like adversity. You know what I'm saying? So like just things not working out in Cincinnati, I was getting out of a relationship at that time, and it was just a lot of different transitions happening at one time. And it was just like, man, that camel, bro, I just started seeing them everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of became like a symbol. It's like, start researching it. It's just like, they obviously in the desert. It's hot. Most of the time people associate camels with the desert. It's hot, tough conditions, but they survive. And a lot of animals can't really survive that. So it's just like, it ain't gonna always be sunshine, rainbows. You just got to keep going.
Yeah.
Make it through the tough times and get to that paradise, whatever that look like for you. So a little deep, man. Maybe not. But
I like that though.
Like, yeah,
I like. I'm really big on very common things having a deeper meaning to other people.
Right.
Because like it always kind of goes back to what I always say, like people see the world differently. Right. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Cause like I may see a camel and be like, oh yeah, I see a camel. I think of that damn commercial and it's like hump day. You know what I'm saying? But what you just said is what you see when you see the camels. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I love that when it comes to duality and perspective. That's very deep. So I got another question. Not even a question. I just want to really touch on something that I thought you said during your Morning Ox interview that was very dope. And you said that you created the app, but you didn't want people to be essentially doom scrolling on the app.
Yeah, exactly.
I rock with that heavy, bro. I appreciate you for thinking about that. That's what made you like, okay, I want people to use my app, but not necessarily like be stuck in it.
Stuck on it, yeah. So, man, good question. I think that's kind of what my mission is with building it, is to keep you off, companion and getting you outside. But you got some people who their apps are built for that. So it's like I've gotten feedback on like how you build an app that you don't want people using, you know, like in that way. And it's like, yo, well, I want people outside, and I feel like if I had a platform that was dedicated to that, we kind of doing both, you know what I'm saying? And then over time, we're going to add features and stuff that's going to keep them on there a little bit longer. So think about LinkedIn.
Okay,
in a sense, you know what I'm saying?
I got
You'll
you.
be able to connect with folks. Maybe you've met at events, or like, you know, even connected with folks before you meet at events. These are things that we plan to roll out in 2026. But yeah, man, I feel like a lot of these apps, they designed to kind of keep you like in the house, scrolling, swiping. It ain't designed to like really get you out. You know what I'm saying? And so I want a companion app to be that social media app that's built for getting you outside and really putting you in front of people to make new connections, meet new people and stuff like that. So I was like, how can we do that, man? Number one, we're gonna take out the feed. Ain't gonna be nothing you gonna be scrolling unless it's our events that are coming up. You know what I'm saying? Then I was like, people not gonna be able to post content, you know, because we don't want you just on there looking at stuff. We want you outside. So very simple layout, man, interface. Like I said, mostly we just want you to come see our event, see what we got going on. Now you can join it and see who all coming out.
Yeah.
You can add people on there. So we did keep a lot of features. So Facebook call them friends. We call people you connect with on our platform companions. You know what I'm saying? So you can build up your companions. You can reach out to folks. And like I said, we are going to roll out them features next year where you can do a little bit more. And we'll push people out who we think you'll get along or connect well with.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't want you just scrolling, swiping all day. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah, we ain't trying to be TikTok.
I rock with that, man, because I feel like a lot of the times people use their phone to disassociate in a place where you're supposed to be like talking and associating with people literally.
Yeah.
So that's great to like have an app on your phone that's specifically designed for me to meet new people. I'm rocking with that so heavy. I gotta ask though, how did that first event go?
Yeah, the very first event, bro. Man, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad, man. I feel like, you know, in this world where you doing entrepreneurship stuff, I look at it as just experimentation, bro. So I had to learn after that first event to lower my expectations. Because I'm like, man, we're a new app that's coming to the city. Everybody about to show up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody about to pull up. It wasn't that. You know, and it was like, it wasn't that. And it was like, you know, like I said, a learning lesson of like, okay, let's lower our expectations.
Yeah.
And let's just collect the data from this. You know, I think as an entrepreneur, you're going to make a lot of data-driven decisions and not ones that are just rooted in what you think going to work because that may not work. So looked at the data, saw who showed up, asked them why they showed up, and I went back to the drawing board, went back to the lab, and looked at everything I did for that first event, promotion-wise, and thought about everything I didn't do, and went back to the drawing board, man. And so I think what's helped Companion the most is consistency. You know, like I didn't let that first event deter me or like, you know, make me lose faith in what I felt like was a vision God put on my heart. You know what I'm saying? So I just kept going.
Yeah.
And, you know, here we are now. So, and we're going to keep going. But, yeah, that first event, bro, is just a learning lesson.
Yeah.
You know?
What would you think was the most difficult part about it? Was it the people showing up or the location?
So we did an Innovation Depot.
Okay.
So I think for like what I was doing with the tech and stuff, I think the location was perfect.
Okay.
I just think it's a lot of stuff I know now.
Gotcha.
That I didn't know then.
Gotcha.
That if I had known then, I could have had more people pull up. You know what I'm saying? And that's just even but it you know, also I feel like everything happens the way it's supposed to happen.
Exactly.
You feel me? So it's like, nah, this is how it's supposed to play out.
Yeah.
You know, because if I could go back, you know, it probably still would have been. So, but I do feel like now I know things that I didn't know now. That I didn't know then, I mean.
Yeah. And high key, that's what you kind of want from everything as an entrepreneur. Like you said, you want a data-driven moment where you can like, okay, this is a learning experience. Because I feel like a lot of the times when people see entrepreneurs from the outside looking in, it seems as though we have all of our shit together because it's like you see us moving and jiving, talking to people. We going to this event. I'm going to this thing. I'm doing this thing. I'm doing this thing. But in actuality, you know, it's like, oh, the last thing didn't go well. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of like when we weren't able to use the last podcast studio anymore. It was like, you know, that was a curveball. Neither one of us were prepared for whatsoever. But kind of like you said, everything happens the way it's supposed to, exactly when it's supposed to as well.
Facts.
And it's like, you know, I think being a good entrepreneur is having the ability to pivot, like immediately, okay, we got to figure it out. Because I feel like in this society we live in, people take 1 or 2 L's and they don't want to go back to that thing again. And it's like those L's, people take the L's and they turn it and make that word a loss, but what it is a lesson. You know what I'm saying? And real entrepreneurs understand that fully. And once you get that concept down pack, you rolling. You know what I'm saying? So do you feel like there's, and I hope you say what I think you're gonna say. Do you feel like anything can stop you at this point?
Nah. Not at all. You know, especially with the mindset that you just said. It's like, you know, even if something don't work out, you know, it's just something you got to go back and retweak, or, you know, it's a lesson. You know, it don't mean that you inadequate or like this ain't meant for you. You know, it's like just keep going. You know, and I feel like, you know, not to make it spiritual, but, you know, God want people who gonna be consistent when the odds are stacked. You know what I'm saying? Who gonna go through that adversity and not, you know, give up. And I feel like those rewards sometimes are on the other side of those obstacles that you're facing. You know what I'm saying? Even if you can't see a way out, you know, just keep going. You know, and so I think that goes back to the Camel mentality too. It's like, you know, shit, it may not be no water out here in this desert. You know, just keep going, keep moving forward, and some way, somehow, somebody gonna have some water for you. You know,
exactly.
You just gotta keep making them steps. You know, even when it's hard.
You gotta keep stepping in the right direction. So for you, do you have a team that does this with you as well?
Yeah, man, I got a team, man. Couldn't do it by myself at all.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, great team, man, who really make things easier. So event coordination, CFO, man, secretary. Got my team of developers. You know, and I did raise money to get it built. So investors who also, you know, provide advice about things and different stuff. So yeah, man, the whole team who really provide love and support really since day one, man.
Really.
And I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. They all local too, or most of them.
Yeah, they all over. Yeah,
Hell
yeah, they all over.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Bringing that light to the city, I think that's dope, especially because the way I see Birmingham is I ain't gonna say the little brother of Atlanta, because I feel like on a good day, especially like Magic City Classic weekend, we can do just the same thing Atlanta do, if not better.
Oh yeah. Most definitely.
And so like having people in the city specifically tapped in with the app, especially like if you, I'm glad you're not contracting people from all over these places. No, they know about the city as well, and they pour their love from the city into that app as well. And I appreciate hearing that you got a team that's here, local. Can you touch on how important it is to have a team that's reliable too?
Yeah, man. I think, like I said, it makes things flow. You know, and I think the hardest part is selling the vision. You feel me? And I feel like, you know, the team just didn't come out of nowhere.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this something you got to sell to folks, you know, to make them believe in it like you do.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, my first, I got 2 investors. My second investor, he was like, Ken, I ain't see the vision, bro. You know, I ain't see it until I came out to the first event. You know what I'm saying? That's what made me want to get behind you.
Yeah.
You feel me? And so I ain't feel disrespected by it, because I'm the type of person, I'm like, whatever I say, you should believe in it. You shouldn't have to wait till I show you something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I understood where he was coming from, because it's like some people gonna need to see a little bit more than somebody else. Like my first investor, he was on board just with me talking about it. You know what I'm saying? The way I sold it. But yeah, building a team, man, I think it comes with being able to sell the vision. I think that's the most important part, because, you know, people got lives outside of your business.
Exactly.
You feel me? And if these folks gonna take time out to help you achieve a vision, what are you selling to them to make them want to do that?
Yeah.
You know, you also got to be a good person. So I try to be the best that I can be for my team, man. If they there, you know, if they need me, I try to just be online 24/7 for them.
100%.
You know, if they need, I try to come through. So it's just that reciprocation too.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I think selling the vision is important, and just showing people something.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, I had one person used to say, man, you move so fast. You know, because I come to you, I say, yeah, I got the PowerPoint, I'm working on the app.
Yeah.
Next time you see me, that's on the platform. You know what I'm saying? So
yes,
it's like,
indeed.
you know, I think that helps too with selling the vision, because like folks know, oh, this man ain't just talking.
Yeah.
Like, he really making moves, you know. And so I think just my track record and showing people like the vision come to life
Mm-hmm.
has been big too. You know what I'm saying?
I can definitely rock with that heavy because, like you said, a team don't come out of nowhere. And so, like, remember I told you I was potting since 2020, and that's when I met Trey, and we were doing a podcast, and I met him through one of my boys. And, like, we were doing the podcast for a while, and then it kind of just fell off, 2-3 years. And then he just called me out of nowhere. Again, I met him through somebody else, and he called me out of nowhere. It's like, bro, I just really think you need to pick that back up and do it. And my mind wasn't on that. My mind wasn't on podcasting. My mind was like, I was in the middle of like, my daughter 2 and 3 years old, me and my wife, like we trying to build our life together. My mind was not on entrepreneurship. It wasn't on podcasting. It wasn't on none of that.
Right.
But when bro called me, like I sat there for a second and I was like, why did he call me specifically? Because the first thing, the reason I was wondering is because like, bro don't even know me that well. You know what I'm saying? He met me through somebody else.
Right.
And then on top of that, I was a co-host on somebody else's podcast. So it's not like I was the main focal point. I wasn't the one coming up with the concepts. I wasn't the one bringing in the guests. I was just showing up and recording. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I'm like, I feel like I wasn't doing anything to shine out enough for you to want me to do this. But then he was like, bro, just think about it. And I was like, that's crazy, because I was talking to one of my other boys, and I had jokingly said it like a couple weeks before him, but I was just bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? And so like when he called and said it, I was like, man, let me put some real thought and like put my mind to it, because I have this weird thing about me in my life that if I say it or if I feel like I speak it, the stars will align and it's gonna happen. And it's crazy. It get to the point where it's kind of freaky a little bit. This nigga said the other day, he said, man, I've been living my whole life thinking I'm the main character, then I ran into you. But it's like, no slight to bro, but it's like you are the main character here to support the main character. You know what I'm saying? Like without you, I don't have a platform to sit on. Without you, I don't have somebody in my ear that see the vision and want to like see me prosper. Without you, I don't have the confidence to sit behind this microphone and be like, yo, I'm finna pop my shit. But not only pop my shit, I'm gonna talk about my city and what matters to me. So it's like having a team, having people who see the vision, having people who care about you, bro. Cause like earlier this year, I took a leap of faith and I'm moving. I'm fully not even a Fed no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm fully doing this right now. And like when I went up to my wife and told her like, hey, bro, I got an opportunity to leave my job right now and we be financially straight for a cool little minute. Like, what you think? And she was like, I think you can do whatever the hell you want to in this world. And she was like, I'm not saying that because you're my husband. I'm not saying because we married and I'm biased. She said, I just know you and how the world line up for you. And she was like, long as you take it seriously, it's gonna happen. And once you get the wife sign or approve on anything, it's game time. It's game time. And like we ain't missed the third. Well, we missed the Thursday because the video didn't download. That's some bullshit, man. We gonna talk about that later, doggy. That's some bull, man. I had uploaded our first episode in here, and YouTube told me it was 53 minutes left on the upload. I left my computer. It was my birthday weekend at that, so I'm not looking at that bitch again. Man, I came back Monday morning. That video said failed to download. I was so hurt because it felt nice to say we ain't missed a Thursday this year, but at the same time, again, like I ain't tripping on it because I enjoyed my birthday weekend. Hell, I kicked it that whole weekend. Everything happened like it's supposed to. We had the episode. It was recorded. It is what it is. But we ain't missing. You know what I'm saying? We dropping this motherfucker. And like you said when you came in here, bro, I see you everywhere. I love to hear that from people because that means I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And then every time somebody approach me about either being on the pod or just giving me my props, the first thing they say is, bro, you so consistent. Like, I see you all the time. You consistent. And it's like, keep doing that and you're going to reach your goal. So, like, I'm staying on that path. I'm locked in on that path. And it's cold crazy. Like, once we locked the podcast in, bro, I started locking in my weight loss journey, bro. I weighed 293 pounds this time last year. Bro, I can tell you right now, I got off the scale when I left the gym away. I'm 231.
Hey, let's go.
You feel me? So it's like I'm locked in everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And now, like, I got an older cousin. He a personal trainer. And I always call him for, like, spiritual uplifting. And cuz always got some good news for me. And I called him and I was like, listen, bro, I want to do the podcast full time. And I told him that earlier this year. And he told me, he was like, because we lost one of our cousins, our cousin that's in between us in age. We lost him 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
From a heart attack. He was overweight, everything, right?
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
And appreciate you. And Cuz said, Cuz, if you want to really make it somewhere in life, you got to prepare your body as well. He said, your body got to be prepared for what you finna put it through. Long nights, sleepless nights. Some days you might not eat the same. You feel me? Big, and like when he said that, I'm fat, I'm in the middle of eating a Debbie cake when he said it. And I was like, what he mean by that?
Yeah.
But the second I started taking myself seriously on that weight loss journey, this stuff started happening. You know what I'm saying? And God is taking things from places that were elsewhere and slapping them dead in front of me. Like, for instance, I told him I would really love to work in this building. Like, that's what my background is anyway, in facilities management and all of this stuff.
Right.
Wouldn't you believe it that 2 weeks later they decided to have a job fair?
That's crazy.
That's how powerful I know my words are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's like little stuff like that are just signs that I'm running down the right path. I'm doing the right thing.
For sure.
So when you started doing the app, what was that sign for you that I'm running in the right direction?
Yeah, man. Nah, it's exactly what you talking about. I think you notice the right people coming into your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You notice how things that have no logical way of connecting start connecting. They start connecting.
Yes.
You know, like you say, you can't explain it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's happening. You know, and you know it's your alignment with whatever it is you're trying to manifest or get to come into fruition. So for me, man, it was people, man. It was ideas. It was you know, maybe some form of validation, you know, like just somebody who just saying, bro, I believe in this. I see this, you know, like that was enough for me to keep going, you know. But then, like I said, people come into my life who could provide that value that I was missing, you know. And like I said, all those to me are signs, okay, I'm on the right track, you know. And then I just look back sometimes, you know, and it's like, man, I did all this.
Mm-hmm.
This showing me right here that this working. You know what I'm saying? Like this the validation right here. Just looking back sometimes, like, okay, if I could get here, I could get there. You know what I'm saying? Why would God, the universe, stop aligning stuff, you know, at this point? If I just keep staying consistent doing what I need to do, it's gonna keep working out. You know what I'm saying? But to your point about like how the health aligns with what you're working on, I think there's a mental component of that too. You know, there's gonna be some days where mentally you checked out, you stressed, you probably dealing with other folks stuff, and I feel like you know, I've also had to learn how to keep my mental in check. You know, just whether that's just walks, man, meditation, you know, reading. Sometimes
weed.
There you go. There you go, man.
Right.
Look, there's a lot of options out there. For sure.
Yeah.
So, man, just keeping the mental too, because I feel like with what we doing, man, it gets stressful. You know, some days it is a lot. You know, but as long as you got something and the right people around you, I feel like, you know, mentally, physically, you'll be good, man.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a contribution. I think one of the coolest things to watch also is people who didn't believe in the vision, but then they start to believe in the vision later on. That's tough. Because I remember like explaining to my pops, like, listen, pops, I'm finna drop this Fed job. And he was like, nigga, you at a position where I beg for that shit. And he was like, you at a position right now where people retire from that job. And I was like, I mean, yeah, but I made it to that point of a job people ready to retire from before I was 30.
Yeah.
So like I'm bored. And he was like, bored, nigga. But it's like now, you know what I'm saying? He see me being consistent. Like a couple weeks ago, he came out to we got a deal or a motion with Rochelle's where they gave me my own breakfast bowl.
I saw that,
Okay. So my pop showed up to the event, and like afterward he texted me and he was just like, son, you doing the damn thing. And he was like, I didn't understand at first, but he was like, I see you. And that was just, I needed to see that. You know what I'm saying? Because my pops was like when I left to do my job with the feds, I left off a volunteer program at first. And so like I was making $167 every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? And Pops was like, I ain't finna keep sending you bread. I'm not finna keep, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point of this?
Sure.
And then I told him I was gonna do it 2 years in a row. And he was like, nah, you really tweaking. Like, and I'm like, but I'm traveling the country for free. They paying for it through this volunteer program. But he was just like, I don't see the vision. Sure. And when I got my federal job and the first time he came out to visit me and saw like they hooking me up with where I'm living at, we paying for the food, we got the whip, especially when just so happened he showed up, I had a challenger like, hey, where you want to go, Pops? And Pops was like, yo, I see you. You know what I'm saying? I see the vision. I ain't seen it before. Right. Cause like when I was growing up, my Pops was like, you know, get you a CDL. Truck drivers gonna always be needed in the country, which is very true. But I was just like, Pops, I don't know if that's meant for me. Right. And even so, when I was graduating high school, I told him and my mom, like, listen, I'm not going to college. Yeah. I was like, it's gonna be a waste of y'all money and my money. Like, I know I'm gonna flunk out first semester because I like to party. That's who I am. I love to party so much, bro. And I was like, but I'm gonna figure out a way to party. And so ironically enough, through the volunteer program, I met this dude who moved to DC right after the volunteer program, and he joined a fraternity. Okay. And he was like, you know, if you ever want to move to DC, you got somewhere to live. Cool. Okay, so I met this other chick who moved to DC, and she got a job with Google. And she was like, if you ever need a plug in Google, hit me. I hit both of them the same day. Same day. And ended up moving to DC 3 weeks later. Real life. Got a job with Google and dipped. Yeah. And so, like, that's how I knew I'm powerful somehow. I'm blessed and I'm highly favored, because when the first day walking into Google, I was like, these people got degrees and everything, gang. I'm straight out of Birmingham, 205, bitch. We number 48 out of 50 in education, but I'm in here, you know what I'm saying? Right? And then on top of that, like, I'm doing so much that y'all moving me from position to position. We got you doing this. Hey, go try to do this. What you looking like? Right. Like, do this. And I'm like, let's do it.
Let's do it,
And I think stuff like that kind of brings back to the homage of what Birmingham is. We hustlers. We gonna get it done no matter what. So when I can imagine like your first idea of starting this app, and then like I know nothing about it, but then that hustler mentality kicked in. Like, nah, we gonna run right into it. Yeah. So like, as you were building everything out, what do you think was the moment where you really had to bring out that hustler's mentality the most?
It was definitely in the beginning, bro. Like, I told myself, look, I'm starting from zero. You feel me? 0 followers, 0 downloads, 0 people know about this. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, if I want to get to 100, if I want to get to 1,000, if I want to get to 10,000, we got to go and kick it in. We got to kick it to another gear, you know? And I think what ended up happening, bro, is like a lot of people got egos. Like when you stepping out on a new venture, a lot of folks got egos that they bring into that new venture. Right. You know, you got to strip yourself of that. Like, you know, this ain't lawyer mode. This ain't lawyer Ken no more. I got to strip all that down and do stuff that I may not be doing to get to where I want to be in this new venture. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of people can't be that chameleon, you feel me, to really tap into that hustle mentality, you know, because I'm too good for that, man. I'm too good to get out here and talk to people about this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm too good to... Nah, forget all that. Like, I was out here in the streets, like, you know, talking to bartenders. I was out here in the streets talking to whoever I could talk to put that at that point in time, it was a PowerPoint. Is this something you would use? I didn't think I was too good for that, because I knew, like, to get to where I wanted to get to, like, sometimes you got to get in the trenches, bro. Yeah. Like, you got to get in the trenches. Like, a lot of times, a lot of folks think stuff just gonna show up. It's gonna be easy. It's gonna be all these things, man. When really, it's the unseen work that go into it. And I feel like that hustle mentality, you know, is just seeing where you want to get to. I'm still operating out of it. Yes, sir. It don't go nowhere. It don't stop. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna stop until I close my eyes. You know what I'm saying? Take that last breath. But until then, we always in that hustle mentality. Yeah. You know. So yeah. As soon as I realized, like, okay, I got to get from 0 to 1, as we say in the entrepreneur world, 0 to 1, you in that hustle mode.
You locked in, too. Yeah. I like to see when you do your events, and I see people that I would have never expected to be there posted on Instagram, and I'm like, yo, that's gang. dang. Now, that be, again, man, I wasn't there.
For sure.
100% I'm at the next one, bro. I swear.
That's love.
Because that be bothering me, man.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like I said, bro, I like to party. I love to party, bro.
You gonna enjoy these events, bro.
I'm already knowing.
Yeah.
I'm already knowing. You gonna be like, hey, cuz, you want to host? Yeah. Let me do it.
Hey, look, that's in the works. Yeah, I'm already thinking about that. Look, that's already brewing.
Yeah.
We got
yeah, man. I got something brewing for you. Actually, I want to talk to you after this episode. Y'all better,
for sure.
y'all stay locked in, man. We gonna have something cooking. I already know it.
Right.
But so I want to move into the difficult portions of it. Was there ever a point where you just wanted to stop and quit?
Ooh, yeah, man. I would say, it would have to be stopping and quitting. Okay, I would say after we got on iOS, right? We went live in the Apple App Store. Bro, you got to raise more money to get on Android. That's a whole nother beast. Yeah, like, so at the time, like, my investor at that time, he had, you know what I'm saying? Like I got you on iOS, Yo, so I'm like, damn, okay, so we gotta figure something out. So for the longest, we was just on Apple, bro. Like, just out here thugging, you know what I'm saying? On Apple. So I was like, all right, we gotta figure it out, man. And man, it was just no motion on the Android side, bro. People coming to events. Y'all ain't on Android yet? Nah, but you can sign in waiting list. You know what I'm saying? So that went on for months. And I got to the point where I just started realizing, like, bro, like, this might be harder than I thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to come up with a whole other X amount of thousands to get on Android, bro. So it's like, okay, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
So that crossroad is like, do I just keep going Apple? Do I shut it all down? Or do I tap back in and we get the money for Android? You know what I'm saying? So so I had to lock back in, man. But yeah, it was at that moment where I ain't see how we was gonna get on Android.
Yeah.
Like, and it didn't look right to just be on one platform. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, bro, we gonna do it. We gotta be like the Facebooks. We gotta be on both.
Yeah.
Like, we can't just be out here on one.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna do this, I gotta figure out a way to be on both. So locked in, bro. Got the money. Let's see what this was. September 2023. Locked in. Man, we was on Android by May of 2024.
Let's go.
So yeah, man. Kind of what you said though. You put them words out there. You start aligning in that direction. Stuff just started working out, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Met my next investor during that time frame. So.
And right on time too.
On time,
not
bro.
early, not too late.
Not too late.
Right on time.
Right on time, bro.
Yeah.
But yo, that was that point where I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
We had one of the moments kind of early. I don't think I ever really talked to Trey about this for real, but it was like towards the beginning, we had done 2 episodes with 2 people that, like, one person definitely I knew this episode was gonna touch a lot of people and do some numbers, and the other episode, which I was like, like, I just met this person, that's the homie, but we can still, you know what I'm saying, it's whatever. But we lost them 2 episodes in the recording. And I sat there for a second, like, I'm like, bro, do I really want to do this? Like, if it's that easy to lose an episode, like, do I really want to do this? And it took me a couple days to be like, you know what, bro? That just give you an opportunity to have a conversation twice, and not only that, be better than the first time. And that was what the mindset I took into doing them interviews. And lo and behold, one of the clips from one of them episodes that we had to redo was the first clip we ever had go viral.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, and that was like, and
that was off you doing it the second time.
The second time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's so crazy. On top of that, it gained us like 500-600 followers on TikTok from the clip going viral.
Dang.
And I was like, that's why we lost it in the first place. We didn't. We were supposed to. It happened the way it's supposed to.
Happen. Yes, sir.
And it that blew my mind because like at first I didn't think about it like that as far as like that's the reason we lost the episode. But then when I sat there and seen all them followers coming, I was like, that's why we lost the first episode because we didn't do it right the first time. We needed to do it the exact same way we did it. Because even down to the conversation we were having when it went viral, we didn't even talk about that the first episode.
Right.
There was nowhere on my notes of things I wanted to talk about. It was not even on there. So, like, it's perfect. You know what I'm saying?
That's how it happened.
Exactly. It's exactly how it happened. So it's like divine intervention on top of like just if you be dope enough, the world will give you what you want.
That right. Yeah, that's it, man.
So towards the end of the interview, I got 3 questions that I like to ask. Okay. First question: if your life was a movie, right, and people have been watching all the way up until this point, what do you think the audience would be screaming for you to do with your life next, or to do with the app next?
Man, take over.
Ooh,
just gonna be everywhere with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm getting them nudges now. Like when you gonna be in Atlanta? When you gonna be? I'm like, look, y'all.
That's a lot.
Hey, that's a lot, man.
That's a lot.
Look, my hat's out to the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world, but that's a lot, you know. But you know, kind of what we've been talking about the whole time, just tapping into that hustle mentality, you know, and getting it done. But I would say they encouraging me. They want us to expand, be bigger, you know. And yeah, I'm gonna deliver.
What did that even look like for you? Like what,
bro?
What? I can't even picture that.
Man, yeah. I mean, I'm figuring that out myself.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'll figure that out in real time.
Yeah.
But nah, I feel like, you know, with the way Companion app is, bro, we would have to like do individual markets. So we would have to like you know, march over to Atlanta, you know, get it going. You know, do it up in Huntsville. Like the thing is, we don't need to be national to like, you know, hit the goals I want to hit in terms of like, you know, impact, revenue, all this other stuff. I just need to be in about 6 markets. You feel me?
Okay.
But you know, we don't have a platform like Facebook where like earlier we was talking about that's what it's designed for, you to be on the platform. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with Companion now, with us wanting you to get outside, we would just need like event coordinators in about 6 cities who can dedicate time to facilitating our events. I need somebody who come up with some ideas. Like a lot of my events, bro, like these are ideas that, you know, divine timing, bro. It's just like I can't come up with a lot of this on my own. It's either me being inspired by something I'm watching on TV or somebody, you know, dropping a little jewel on me, you know, but it's like I would want somebody in these cities who can either replicate some of the ones we've already done that have been successful, or to be innovative enough to come up with something I ain't thought of. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think if we can get that going in about 4 cities, and you know, they build out a calendar of about 12 events to do, it can be done.
What would be your 4 ideal cities?
So Huntsville, Atlanta, probably Nashville, and then just probably something crazy like a big market like New York or LA to see if I can kind of see what we could do out there. But yeah, man, I mean, we already planning on launching in Huntsville in 2026. So you know, at this point, like I wanted Birmingham to be the test market. You know, this is my home city too. So it's like, of course, I had to come back and start it up here, but it's like this the test market to see what all going right, what's all going wrong, and rinse and repeating that in another market. You feel me?
Yeah. So
we at a point now where we pretty much know how everything gonna play out.
Yeah.
You know, we know what events people like. We know what they don't like.
What don't they like? What don't they like? What?
So they don't like that, you know. But like I don't think like we tried to do a couple things, man. Like I did a little hiking thing last year.
Okay.
They ain't like that one.
Okay,
you know
that's
what
fair.
I'm saying? And there was another one we tried to do like a live listening party.
Okay, that's fire though.
I thought it was fire too.
Yeah.
But nobody, you know.
That sounds so fire.
They were messing with it.
Yeah.
And you know, it could have been timing or whatever, but
Maybe.
man, we had this decked out studio, bro. It was nice. It was real nice. But they weren't messing with that one. So, you know, there might be a couple more that I ain't thinking off the top of my head. Oh, we did like it was like a, nah, I ain't gonna say that one. That's cool.
Off camera. Catch that one on the Patreon.
For sure. But yeah, man, they look, the ones they like. So yeah, just building out a list of the good ones and replicating them in different markets. You know?
I mean,
yeah, because like I said, all this is experimentation, man. Just kind of seeing what people like, what they don't like, you know, and fortunately, man, they show up, they have a good time, and we actually got some stuff coming up this year. So for the remainder, our biggest one is gonna be our New Year's Eve party. So you probably want to go and put that one on your calendar if you're gonna be in town.
100%.
Yeah, so that one gonna be dope. And man, we also got a subscription too, so I ain't really talked about that. But in the app, if you subscribe to the platform, you get elevated perks at events. So we run tickets through Eventbrite. You know, if you a subscriber to the app, you ain't got to buy no ticket. You just show up, you know what I'm saying? Show your subscription, you get in. We usually have an open tab, open bar for our subscribers. So you come in, drink on us, eat on us.
I need that.
Yeah, man.
I need that, man.
And it's for all our events, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, it's super affordable. And we just want to, you know, provide those people who want to, you know, go deeper with us in that way. We want to give it to you on the back end. So, and we trying to find new ways of making more valuable the subscription. So, like, wherever you go in Birmingham, if you're saying, like, you know, you got a companion app subscription, it's going to open some kind of door for you, whether that's discounts or getting you into places for the free. You know what I'm saying? Like, we brokering them deals on the back end.
That's so smart.
2026.
That's so smart,
to just
bro.
add more to that subscription.
It's like having a VIP card everywhere.
Everywhere, bro. Yeah,
That's tough.
Yeah. So, yeah.
VIP companion. Ooh.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, I need that. I need that on the resume. That sounds fire.
I appreciate that.
Dang, that's tough.
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay, so second question I want to ask. What's the most inspiring thing you think somebody's ever told you?
Oh, man. That's a good one.
I got him.
Yeah, it's a good one. The most inspiring thing. It would have to be, I don't know, I had a mentor, man. He was like, wherever you go, man, just make sure that, you know, people know your name, you know what I'm saying? Like, make sure that you have, like, presence in a way where, like, they know your name, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was pretty inspiring because he was like a city councilman here in the city or whatever, and, you know, that always stuck with me. So I try to be the best I could be memorable, you know, like I like that guy, you know.
Yeah.
In whatever environment I'm in, you know what I'm saying, just so I am memorable in those ways. So I would say that was pretty inspiring, man. In addition to that, though, I would say I got a quote that I kind of live by Napoleon Hill. It's like, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve, you know. And so I think that's just in the back of my mind. That's always keeping me going, keeping me motivated, for sure.
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes is by JFK, and he said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country."
Yes, sir.
And so I always think about, like, what can I do for not only my country, but my city? What can I do for my city that brings out my talents? It shows what I do best, but it also shows the best sides of the city.
For sure.
And when I started cooking on the podcast, I'm like, this is it.
This is it, bro.
I'm doing it for the city. I'm doing it with the purpose of I want. Because one thing that used to bother me when I used to travel, bro, is like when I meet new people, like, oh, where you from? I'm like, oh, I'm from Birmingham. They're, oh, y'all got y'all on season the first 48. And I'll be like, bro, that's like, although, yes, and it's a good season. But at the same time, bro, we have a lot of good things going on. And like people always talk about like the violence and the poverty. And I'm like, no, bro. You missing my city, high key, a lot. Because it's a lot of dope stuff going on. It's a lot of dope people here. It's a lot of people who can put their blood, sweat, and tears into building a name for their business here. And the fact that people know violence before they know about companion app first. It's crazy to me. We got K&J elegant cupcakes out there. Like they going hard over there. We got Yo Mama. We got all of these things that are bomb. But you want to talk about First 48. That's an issue. That's a problem. Let's fix that.
Let's fix it, man.
So like that's my mission right now. I want to fix that. I want people. I started to name the podcast First 48. Just so when they look up First 48 Birmingham, the pod come up.
First 48. We on First 48.
But then I imagine texting people and being like, "Yo, bro, you want to come on First 48?" Like, oh, hey.
Oh man, that's funny. That's funny though. Hey, that's funny.
That part.
Maybe one episode you kind of give it that little, yeah.
Hey, he said something right then. We're gonna get the district attorney of Birmingham on, and we're gonna name the episode First 48. I like that actually. See, cooking. We cooking. That's a little gem you done dropped on me right then. Damn, I ain't even thought about that. And then the last question I love to ask is, who do you think the next hustler needs to be to sit right there?
Ooh, man, there's so many to choose from, bro. Like, but I feel like you gonna know them, man. I feel like they gonna come to you. We got so many people, like just in the city, or like you just saying, like
In the city, yeah.
Man, there's so many people.
You can give me 2 or 3. I don't mind, cause I'm definitely gonna hit them up.
No, I feel you. Yeah, man. I know my guy over at Mogul Mission. He doing big things. Jabril Davies, man. One of my partners. He's been pretty consistent in the event space, and also with what he doing with business development in the city. Good brother, man. Trying to see if I got one more for you. Oh, gotta plug my guy Brian Stutter, bro, over at Stutter Floor Designs. Man, they just went out and kind of created their own floral shop in the city, bro. Like, has done some of the biggest floral rent, like was on Dynasty, bro, the show.
Oh, wow.
Doing floral sets for them. So he does all companion flowers, like really, really impactful in that space in the city, bro. So if you ever want to add a little touch to the pie, man, like, I made that connect, but really, really good guy. So I would say, just with what he got going on and the motion he got in the city through flowers, bro, it's pretty impactful. It's dope.
That's fly.
I've never seen somebody be so invested in a craft to where it's like they turn it into an art. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, this is art. Like, the way you put this together is art. So
that's fly.
Yeah, definitely him.
Okay.
Solid guy. Yeah.
Okay. Shoot, man. This has been dope interview. I'm not gonna lie. When you walked in, I was like, I don't know, cuz now we friends. 180%, you my dog.
Yeah.
That's why I put that in the intro. I was like, my dog, because I already know about the interview. It's gonna happen, bro. It's gonna happen.
Yes, sir.
Tell everybody where they can find you at, where they can download the app. Go for it.
Yeah, man. So Ken with the Companion app. Make sure that you following us on social media at Companion app Beham. That's at Companion app Beham. And once you go to our Instagram page, you can download the app from our bio. We have both links in the bio, so be sure to download them, create your profile, subscribe. That's important right now. Subscribe. Also, just stay tuned for the next event. We cooking up for 2026, but we got our New Year's Eve event that we'll be rolling out here soon, probably in the first, second week of November. So stay tuned for that, and just get ready to end 2025 on a high note with us. That's all I got.
Okay, man. This has been another episode of Talk Vibe Hustle. If y'all made it this far, drop a camel in the comments for me.
Hey.
I've been your host, K Bugs, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.